Rockstar Gang, what up? What up, what up? Rob Blake in the building. We got Old School Panther fan in the building. Sean J. Y. Sup? My guy, SC Panthers Boy 803. Shane H1 007. I don't know. I don't know. Quite a few saying they. Quite a few are saying they think Dylan is just a camp body. I got my Dylan. I got my Andy Dalton trade and Dylan video coming out tonight. So y'all are going to have to just tune into that. I'm not going to talk about it on this show tonight. It is what it is. What's up, Shane? Appreciate you. Trizzy, what's good? Shout out to everybody in the chat. I appreciate you guys being here every single time, basically every single day. If you tuned into the NFC South Roundtable to you for last night, shout out to you guys. But shout out to everybody in the building. Where is my, what the freak? Why does, dude, they moved my stuff around on here. Damn. They moved my stuff around on here. But shout out to everybody in the chat, man. There it is. I was looking for that. Bees Knees was good. AJ Dillon, that's a good trade. We didn't have to trade for him. We just signed him. Omar. Slick Vic with the what up with it. Dalton out of here. Yeah, the roundtable was fun last night. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It's always fun, man. It's always fun. Jeff 6599. What up? Rock Jones was good. Guys, make sure you pound that like button on the way in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, make sure you click that post notifications bell so you don't miss any new content. And also, do me a favor and basically make sure you follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch as well. I'm also live on Twitch, so shout out to Twitch. So here are my top 5, man. Speaking of TikTok, we need to go live on TikTok. We haven't been live in a while on TikTok. Let's get that live going. Let's get that live going. It's been a while, man. It's been a while since we've been live over there on the TikTok. All right. Let me share my screen. So tonight, what's the move? What is the move? Panthers at 19. The stop screwing around, build this team correctly. Draft guide is going to be right in front of you tonight. That's what we're going to be breaking down. I'm basically going to give you my top 10 guys I'd like to see us target in that 19th spot, if I'm being honest. Oh, wow. PFF changed their whole board style up, by the way. PFF changed the whole thing up. So tonight, we're basically going to be breaking down guys I think Carolina should target in the draft. All right, and I'm going to break down each cat. Basically, we're going to break down each cat, and it's just going to be who I like specifically at 19. It's no particular order. All right, so it's just my top 10 guys I like in this draft for Carolina to target. Okay. Let's just call it what it is, because we're no longer wandering around the NFL like a drunk guy looking for his keys in the wrong parking lot. Okay. That part is over, because you got a quarterback that's worth protecting in Bryce Young. There's some actual structure on this roster now. Your front office has at least dragged this thing out, has at least dragged this thing out of completely, a clown show territory. And let's not get carried away, okay, and pretend pretend they've arrived. The team still is unfinished, all right? It's still a little fragile. So is this fan base. We got a lot of fragile people that can't take a joke. Still one bad decision away from going right back to being a football wallpaper. The Panthers are in that weird middle zone where they're not bad enough to burn it all down, but they're not good enough to start like acting cute with premium draft capital, right? Like pick 19 is not the time for some galaxy brain nonsense that some of you guys are throwing out there. And it's just me being honest. Whether you like it or not, whether you like me or not, I could give two shits. But this is the part of the rebuild where you either make a smart adult decision or you light another year of progress on fire and call it upside, right? That's where this whole conversation's going, because at pick 19, we need to come away with a player who either makes Bryce Young's life easier, if we're being honest, helps give this defense a real identity, right? Build it up, or fill a long-term hole without forcing the roster into another season of patchwork bullshit. What's up, Aiden? Ravens fans, thoughts on it? Thoughts on what, Aiden? So this isn't about dream scenarios. This isn't about fake mock draft crack. Like, this is about realistic first-round targets who could actually be there and whether they'd actually make sense for us. Okay. So, and this is no particular order, guys. So don't freak out when I go to these guys and you're just like, we don't need another guy like this. Because that's what I'm going to hear. I already know it. We're going to start off with Kadyn Proctor. All right. We're going to start off with Kadyn Proctor. There's Hunter. We'll go ahead and just get you on up out of here. See you later. Smell your ass later. My team overall, do you hate my team, the Ravens? No, I don't hate your team, Aiden. I have nothing against them. I think y'all did pretty well, actually, in the free agency. But besides the fact that y'all decided to back out of the Max Crosby trade, that was the only thing I did not like. But hey, you got Trey Hendrickson. I think that defense can kind of get back to where it used to be. So the first guy we're going to talk about is Kadyn Proctor out of Alabama, offensive tackle. This is the guy that is going to handle your damn business type pick. Okay. That's what he is. Okay. You know, Carolina wants to act like serious football operation. This is the kind of pick that proves it, right? Proctor is the obvious answer for a reason. Okay. He's not some mystery box. He's not a gadget toy. He's not one of those prospects where I feel like everyone talks about themselves into what he might become 3 years. He's a giant. He's a talented offensive tackle from Alabama who has already dealt with top-level pass rushers, has the physical traits to become a long-term up-front guy. And they don't have any analysts on him yet. But that matters a lot, okay? What I think makes him attractive, first off, if we're talking about Kadyn Proctor, is the man is huge. Kadyn Proctor is a huge man. He's not just a big tackle huge. He's more like an industrial refrigerator with ankles type huge. We're talking about a guy who is 6'7", 366 pounds. There is reasons why scouts love him, and it's that he doesn't move like a dump truck. He's got real feet. He's got real range. He's got that kind of movement ability that makes you think, all right, this dude actually belongs on an island at left tackle. He's locked in, bro. He's locked in. He can absolutely wash defenders out of the picture. There are reps, if you watch his tape, where he looks like he's deleting people from the game because he's got the size to anchor that left side. He's got the length to bother rushers early. He's got enough athleticism to mirror better than most giant humans should. Okay? All right. He's also battle tested. SEC pass rushers aren't fake tough guy competitions. We know that. Go if you watch the SEC football, you know that. That's not beating up on accountants from some directional Harvard school. Like, these are NFL caliber edge talent that you get out of the SEC. We all know that. If you watch college football, you know that. Proctor has spent time dealing with it, and that's why I like him. Now, this is where it gets messy. Now, for the annoying part, he's not clean at all. Proctor can be consistent as hell when you watch his tape. I wish I could pull up tape for you. Unfortunately, YouTube would take me down. They don't monetize it. Okay? They don't monetize it. So unfortunately, I can't bring up tape anymore. All right. Proctor can be inconsistent as hell. 1 week, he looks like a franchise tackle. The next, he looks like somebody shook him awake 10 minutes before kickoff and said, hey, man, hope you're stretched out. Pause on that. Sorry. That was a little. It was. But I'll say this. His technique can get sloppy at times. His pad level can get drifty. His hands can be late. And when the fundamentals go, the whole rep can kind of go to shit quickly. That's what makes him a little frustrating. The ceiling for this guy is obvious, but the floor is still useful. But but the tape can feel like watching two different players stitched together if you watch the tape of him. All right. Why should we care about Kadyn Proctor? All right. Why should we care about him? Well, because Bryce Young getting folded in half every Sunday, it's not a developmental plan, number one. I get that we signed Rashid Shaheed, but the offensive line still doesn't feel stable enough to me to ignore because it feels more like a stack of books. Like, think about it this way. You go look at our offensive line, it's more like a stack of books you're bouncing on a table leg. It's functional until one thing shifts, and then the whole room is crooked again. Right? Proctor gives us a tackle insurance, a long-term upside, a legitimate chance to solve a premium problem with a premium body. Let's not forget, Ike Ekwonu's injury is not just some simple injury. It's not an injury that guys just come back from like that. It's also with long-term effects. There have been players with the same injury that they're just not the same. That is something people have to understand. Go look what a patellar tendon injury that he had and look up the statistics. Only one guy really has came back and looked the same. And we're talking about a tight end, Jimmy Graham, who was a freak athlete. Okay. Ike Ekwonu is a 300-pound, 6'4", 6'5", 300-pound player. That's a total different ball game. All right. This type of move, if you're going to get a Kadyn Proctor, this is the mature pick. This is the mature pick. Because we're trying to build a real football team, not just to win Twitter for one night pick. Like, I'm not trying to do that. This is a practical pick, which naturally means some fans are going to bitch about it because it ain't flashy, because it ain't Kenyon Sadiq. That's the problem with Carolina fans. They're gonna bitch and complain. It does not matter if we did get Kenyon Sadiq, because guess what? Other fans are going to be like, well, I didn't want Kenyon Sadiq. That's the problem. That you have that with every NFL team in the league. You can't please everyone. But see, once that person steps on the field and then you see them succeed on the field, then everybody's like, yeah, he was right. Oh, you know what? That was a great pick. Even though I wanted Kenyon Sadiq. We're going to talk about Kenyon Sadiq tonight because he is one of my top 10 players. Is he my top guy? No. But we are going to talk about him. We are going to talk about him. So, Kadyn Proctor is one of them. Next guy, of course, I'm going to talk about is Monroe Freeling out of Georgia, left tackle, another left tackle. I'm higher on Monroe Freeling than I am Kadyn Proctor, okay? Monroe Freeling is that guy that says, shut up and take the double, right? That's the type of pick he is. Freeling is that kind of prospect that people underestimate because he doesn't come with the fireworks. He's not the tackle version of a monster truck rally. He's not going to make everyone scream on draft night. He's more like a sharp mechanic. Not sexy, but that damn car is going to work because he knows exactly what he's doing. That is what Monroe Freeling is. He's a sharp mechanic. Not the sexiest guy in the world, but that damn car keeps working because he knows exactly what he's doing. Why he's so appealing to me is because he has the look of a long-term starter. He's got the length that teams want. His feet are smooth. His pass sets are generally clean. That's not a ton of wasted movement in his game. All right, so I'm actually going to pull up. I'm going to try to see if I can get away with it tonight. I'm going to pull up some quick film on Kadyn Proctor first, and let's see if I can get away with it tonight. I got away with it the other night. I'm going to see if we can get away with it for a little bit. TikTok, if you want to see film, come on over to the YouTube channel. Link is in my bio. All right. Did I spell it wrong? No, I spelled it right. There we go. All right, so here's some clips of Kadyn right here. Look at him. Look at him. Nice. See if I can find more. Hold on. Here we go. Against Auburn. I mean, just nice movement. I mean, we're talking about it. This is a 6'7", 366-pound man. Look at him. I'm pretty sure that was Falk that he just went against that last clip. Yep. I think that's Falk right there, 15, no? Kedrick Falk, 15, right? I mean, he got that boy locked down. I mean, just saying. All right, let's go look at Monroe Freeling. We're going to try to see if we can get away with it. All right, Monroe Freeling versus Colin Simmons. Boom. Look at that. Nice footwork. Way to stay in control. Good hands. Way to stay with him. Keep that pocket clean. Wait for the running back to come in, help out. There he is. He kind of got a little work there a little bit, but that's all right. Little movement there. That's a good block there. That's a good block there. All right, so again, what we just saw there from Monroe Freeling is like there's not a ton of wasted movement in his game. Like that's a big deal. Offensive line play is hard enough without a guy freelancing like he's in a jazz band, okay? What makes him attractive is his consistency. He's improved steadily. He plays like someone who understands his job. He doesn't have to win every rep with overwhelming force. Because he's usually in position. We just watched him. He's usually in position. He's going to get beat sometimes. That happens, okay? It's not the sexiest pick, but it's grown man football. Like, again, he's also a legit athlete for his size, which raises his floor. Again, 6'7", 315. All right. He may not be the freakiest guy in the class, but I tell you, he looks like someone you can plug in and trust. Now I will say he doesn't have Proctor's holy shit flashes. Okay. He's not as physically overwhelming. He's not the same kind of power presence. He may never become one of those elite mauling freaks that people build highlight reels around. His ceiling might just be, damn, he's really solid, right? And honestly, that's fine. More fine than you think. Okay. If why I think Carolina should be interested, if somebody else, if Kadyn Proctor maybe goes for him somehow, some way, right? Carolina we don't need to start like free basing upside. Like Freeling is the anti-panic pick. Like don't overcomplicate this dumbass pick, right? That's what that type of pick is, right? Like he projects as the kind of player who starts for a decade, barely gets talked about, quietly prevents your quarterback from becoming a before and after concussion lawsuit commercial. Okay. He's basically the offensive line version of a reliable pickup truck. Not flashy, not the luxurious truck, but it starts every morning and it gets the job done. That has value, in a ton of it. All right. So Monroe Freeling. Okay. No, kind of was a little bit. Y'all talk about left tackle, shame ahead. Good God, you draft a starter in the first round. King Mufasa, man. I mean, all these guys are starters that I'm talking about. So what are we talking about? Like all these guys are starters. Like Monroe Freeling or Kadyn Proctor would immediately probably start. In my opinion, I think I would rather start one of these guys. And if not, fine, let Rasheed Walker start. But at least this guy gets to sit back. You'll get to see him rotate in. See, y'all act like Rasheed Walker just solved world hunger. That's the problem. See, when Bryce Young gets sacked 67 times because we didn't like successfully protect his blind side, but y'all want to get Kenyon Sadiq that can apparently open up the middle of the field, but then Bryce can't get the ball to him because he's on his ass. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Let's go get a tight end that can't open up the middle of the field, but he's got freakish talent and he's got a freakish, because you're going based off of a highlight reel of a combine. That's what you're basing it off of. You're basing it off of measurements and what you saw at the combine. You've never even watched this tape. I got tape. And it's not just Twitter. Trying to come at me like y'all talk so much, but yet you're so far away. But yet you are so far away. Am I saying that offensive line is the best move? No, I just told you guys when coming into this, this is my top 10 guys. I'm starting with tackle. This is why y'all make me make those parody videos, because of people making stupid comments like that. And I'm just going to continue to make them, because that's what you guys sound like. Probably look like too. Let's continue. Now my next guy, again, no particular order, since I got to repeat myself around here because I'm speaking to children. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren is my next guy we're going to talk about here. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. Does somebody please inject a pulse in this defense type of pick? You don't have to like him. I don't care if you don't like him, but most of the people that don't like him don't know much about him, which is very true. Because, for example, I was told that Emmanuel McNeil-Warren couldn't cover. But when you go look at the lowest catch rate allowed in the 2026 NFL draft safeties, 40% catch rate allowed says otherwise. There's your lowest catch rate allowed by the safeties in this draft class. See, there's a certain type of defender every good unit has. See, the guy who seems to be involved in everything, who brings that energy, who changes the temperature of the field, that's the appeal of McNeil-Warren, okay? What he brings, in my opinion, is a very instinctive, let me find that video on him real quick. Since I can't pull up my own film, I'm not allowed to. I can pull film up from here, but I can't pull film up from my own dash because I get clipped for it. But he's a very instinctive, physical productive safety. He's the kind of safety who plays like he took the game personally. He'll trigger downfield, throw his body around. He'll make plays on the ball. He generally act like, and every snap owes him money. I mean, if you just watch some of the short tape here, like that matters because defenses need more than assignments. They need attitude. McNeil-Warren looks like a tone setter. He can cover. He can hit. He's around the football enough to make you believe that the production isn't a fluke. And people go, well, he came out of Toledo. Well, so did who did the Eagles corner that they just drafted? Like the Eagles corner they drafted out of Toledo. What's his name? Kenyon Mitchell. Took him in the first round. Like, just because he played at Toledo doesn't mean jack shit. Look at him. This guy plays the game like one of those annoying Madden defenders who somehow ends up in every frame, no matter where the ball goes. Now, he does come with some issues. Don't get me wrong. He does come with his issues, which every player does. All right. He's not some freak athlete who blew the combine apart. You're not drafting off of pure traits like he's like some alien, right? Because he plays aggressively. He's going to make mistakes. He can get baited. He'll jump too fast. He sometimes trusts his eyes too much, right? Sometimes his confidence can get him into trouble. That's the trade-off, all right? The aggression that creates splash plays can also create busted ones, okay? Why he makes sense for us, though, is because we need some more edge. I'm not talking about edge rusher help, obviously. I'm talking about someone gives you edge. Somebody who's emotional, statistically, all of it, right? Right now, it feels competent, but not intimidating, right? Like very structured, but not dangerous, right? McNeil-Warren gives it some personality. Like he is the kind of player who enters a huddle and without saying much, feels like someone is finally driving the car. If you want a defensive identity at pick 19, this is one of the cleaner options in my opinion. That's just my opinion. All right. QJ, just let him do it, man. Just let these analysts continue to do that. Let these analysts continue to do that. Let them do that. Let these analysts do that, man. They're gonna talk just like everybody else that comes on my show and talks. And then guess what? Once I put them in their place, they don't say nothing else. That's why you don't see people like Panthers 375 in here. And that's why you don't see these other people's after I call them out. They don't say nothing because they don't know what they're talking about. I think he can play free safety well enough. Obviously, he's only got a 40% catch rate on him. So obviously he can cover. He can play the deep ball. I think he could be a ball hawk free safety. Now, a lot of people think that he's A lot of people don't think we need him because the fact that we signed Nick Scott, which Nick Scott, again, Nick Scott was better than what people think. Okay. I get that you're getting 50-50 with Nick Scott. 1 minute he's making a play, he's making a tackle. The next minute he thinks he's like freaking one of the Fantastic Four, Mr. Stretch, trying to jump up for a ball that's like 6 feet over his head. And you know what play I'm talking about against the Rams, pretty sure. So, you're getting 50-50 with him. But again, it's that is a familiarity signing. Again, I also have to say with Nick Scott too is like if he doesn't force that fumble against Green Bay, do we win that football game? So I get why they're like, why people are like, well, we don't need him, because we got Ransom. Some people believe in Ransom. I'm okay if we don't get McNeil-Warren. I'm okay with that. If somehow Dylan Diamond falls to 19, I'm definitely taking him over McNeil-Warren, but it's going to be hard for me to see Dylan Diamond fall that far. What if Caleb Downs falls that far? Right? Because of the injury concerns. He could fall out of that top 10. We'll see. Don't be talking crappy about Evero's son. It seems like he's that way, doesn't it? All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the Daniel Jeremiah pick. I put a video out on it last night. Let's talk about the Daniel Jeremiah pick. Now, PFF has him at 30 as the 35 best player on the board. KC Concepcion. Here's the thing. There are players who make offense better in theory. Okay, CJ, I'm going to get to Peter Woods. All right. There are players who make offenses better in theory. Then there are players who make offenses more watchable in real time. Concepcion falls into that second group. Why I think he's so exciting. What up, Smitty? I hope you're doing well, brother. It's been a while. I hope you are doing well, my friend. Smitty used to be on there with the NFC South Roundtable. If you don't know who Smitty is, you need to go check him out on YouTube. Go check him out on YouTube. He's the man. He is the man. I'm glad to hear you're doing good, man. I'm glad to hear you're doing good. Go look him up on YouTube, chat. If you're on TikTok, go look him up, Smitty Sport Machine. Follow him on TikTok. Go over to the YouTube channel, Smitty's Sports Machine. Great Falcons content. If you love it, if you're a Falcons fan, that's your in. Go check him out. Panthers tuning up, going to be a good run. I hope so, my friend. I hope so. I hope it's all ain't no fool's gold. I hope it ain't no fool's gold. KC Concepcion. So here we go. We got a little film on him here. He's right here. Right here. Oh my God. In double coverage too. Here he is right here in the slot. Breaks on the inside. Bam. Opens up the middle. Watch him out here on the outside. Quick RPO. Finds that open crease. Gone. He's just very explosive after the catch. Very twitchy as hell. Very dangerous in space, as you can see. Get the ball in his hands. All right. He turns small gains into big problems. Big problems. All right. He's the kind of receiver who can take a boring 5-yard concept, just like we saw with that RPO play, and he can make it feel like the defense just stepped on a rake. He creates separation very quickly. And it can be used in multiple spots. He gives what he would give Bryce Young, something he's kind of desperately needed since he's gotten here, And basically, it's a target who can turn fine into like, holy shit, he just took that to the house, right? Maybe that's Jimmy Horn Jr., okay? I know that we love Jimmy Horn Jr. I'm a Jimmy Horn Jr. fan. We got to see what happens, obviously, all right? But give this guy, you put this guy in our offense, you add a nice trio that still sometimes feel like it's begging, for anyone to uncover that guy that could take it over the top, right? So that's a big deal, right? Excellent in space, just like Smitty said. Exactly. Now, I do have my concerns, all right? Every guy has my concerns. He doesn't have the build of a classic wide receiver one. If anything, he would be a slot guy here anyways, because you would line Jalen Coker and T-Mac on the outside. He's not that kind of big body bully who dominates physically every snap, but more physical corners can disrupt him. Man-to-man is not really his thing. There's a reasonable debate about whether he's a true top option, okay? And that's why I think PFF has moved him back, right? He was around that 15, 16 range. They've got him around that now 35. He's not that true top option or more of a specialized weapon, right? So, and that's not insignificant. You don't want to draft a first-round receiver and then realize he's more of an accessory than a centerpiece. But why I would think about it, if I'm Dan Morgan, is that Bryce Young doesn't just need protection, but he also needs guys who can actually help him. Concepcion gives you easy throws. He gives you that separation. He gives you that yak juice, and he gives you a little damn fun, right? There's value in a player who can make the offense feel faster, lighter, and less dependent on perfection, right? I think that this is the pick for a team that wants to weaponize quickness, like the Buffalo Bills, right? I think he would be great in the Buffalo, and creativity instead of just praying the pocket holds for 4 seconds. I think another good place for KC Concepcion would be the 49ers as well. I think that would be a solid spot for him. I think KC falls to 7. Well, it seems like that's where they think that he's going to fall anyways. They think KC, at least from a PFF standpoint. All right, let's move on to my next guy. Let's continue. Love this. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. Makai Lemon is my next guy again, this is a guy, you talking about a guy who's a 3rd and 7 and an adult in the room. All right. Lemon is a different flavor than Concepcion, right? There's a lot to like if you want reliability over chaos. What he does well, Makai Lemon, what he does well is he's a polished route runner. He's very productive. He's very smart, very consistently available. Now, I did not like his pro day film. It did kind of throw me for a loop. I ain't gonna lie, because he looked like he was running with skis on his feet. I don't know why it looked like that. Maybe it was from that angle, but it threw me for a loop. I mean, I'm just being honest. But here's some film on him. But again, he's a polished route runner, very productive, smart, consistently available. That doesn't sound sexy, right? Because fans love speed, highlight plays, but quarterbacks love guys who are where they're supposed to be when the world is ending around them, right? That is what Lemon is. All right. He wins with timing. He wins with his feet, his body control, his route discipline. As you can see, he's the kind of receiver who isn't always the fastest or the strongest dude on the field, but still somehow he just gets open because he understands leverage. Like he's reading from the answers in the back of the book. almost, right? The problem is with Makai Lemon, though, is we got to work on his probably his speaking skills a bit. And I mean that in the most respectful way. Okay. All right. I mean that in the most respectful way because I mean, if you saw him at the combine, just saying. When we see the Saints, I need to give TJ hell on the roundtable, brother. Oh, I plan on it. TJ's my dog though on that show, man. TJ's my dog. Actually, you know what's funny? TJ actually lives like 10 minutes away from me. So TJ's my dog. TJ's my dog. QJ. I still have yet to get up with him though. That's the thing. I told him we need to grab a beer, but he's got a family. I got a family. It's tough. TJ is cool. He's a good guy. All right. So Makai Lemon, again, the only thing that limits him, it really is he's not a freak athlete. Okay. He's not going to wow people by looking like Tyreek Hill in a costume. His game is more like technician territory, right? Like he can cap how people view him because modern draft talk, I hate to say it like this, modern draft talk gets horny for these explosive tools. I'm just being honest. That's what they do. They give you guys quarter chubs. And I'm just being honest. That's what all these people in the chat do. It's the same thing with Kenyon Sadiq. Y'all guys get this like in your mind and thinking with your other head because you see this explosive tool. Just saying. But I'll say this. Makai Lemon fits Carolina because every quarterback needs a guy who shows up on third down you know that like there is there anybody in here who just like has that bar they go to, like not every night, hopefully not every night, but like there's just that bar that you like to go to and grab yourself a nice cocktail, right? And you know the bartender in there is dependable. That's Makai Lemon. Like 3rd and 7, rush closing in, play design collapsing, crowd getting loud, someone needs to get open. Lemon feels like that somebody. He wouldn't necessarily be the most glamorous pick, but he would become one of the most useful, especially for a quarterback who's young. Usefulness is worth its weight in gold and blood and probably blood pressure medicine. But that's what he is. He's just like that reliable bartender you go to, you know. It's that bar that you like, and you get that reliable bartender. You know, he's going to be there, right? And he's going to hook you up. All right, I'm going to move on to someone that everybody just loves so dearly, and they get it horny for because he's an explosive tool. Because that's how modern football is. And I'm just calling how I see it. Kenyon Sadiq. Now, again, I am not a anti-Kenyon Sadiq guy. I am anti-tight end in the first round guy. Let me be clear. This guy is basically a Frankenstein weapon. That is what Kenyon Sadiq is. All right. He's a Frankenstein weapon. He's built in the lab, just like Sony Styles. Okay. Built in a lab. I'm trying to find some. I'm trying to find some hint of him receiving. But all I'm finding is him blocking. Was his pro day today? Oh, his pro day was yesterday. Hold on, chat. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to use this. Let me see if I can find it here. Obviously, this is highlights, but Sadiq is where things get really interesting because, again, he's not your grandfather's tight end. He's not a classic hand in the dirt caveman blocker who occasionally leaks out for 6 yards and a cloud of dust, right? He's a modern offensive weapon. I do think he's legit. He's got absurd athletic traits. He's got positional flexibility that makes defensive coordinators mutter curse words into laminated call sheets. Okay. Why people are drooling over him is because the combine numbers are ridiculous. I get that. 4.39 40 for a tight end is absolutely stupid. It's just flat out stupid. Okay. Add in the 43.5-inch vertical and 11.1 broad jump. And now you're talking about not about a normal athlete. You're talking about a science experiment. On top of that, he produced, okay? 51 catches, 560, 8 touchdowns, led all FBS tight ends in touchdown grabs. So this isn't just about workout porn, okay? That's there's actual football attached. Okay? I get it. He functions like a big slot weapon. He can line up detached. He can go out wide in the slot. He even more around the formation as a matchup piece. He stresses linebacker. He outruns some safeties and moves more like a wideout than a traditional tight end. But what keeps him from being so perfect that everybody thinks that he is that he's undersized for a classic inline Y roll at 6'3", 241. That matters. Now, again, that can change. Okay. So what? The size can change from a pound standpoint. But see, the NFL defensive ends are not decorative. If you ask him to live as a traditional blocker against grown-ass edge defenders, you're going to set him up for some rough reps. Okay? You're going to set him up for some rough reps. DJ, thank you for the Panthers, Paul. I appreciate that. Miles deep, who dat, baby? Got a Saints fan in here. We got some Saints fan. I think I saw a Bucks fan earlier. Shout out to you guys as well. Shout out to you guys. We get shook tonight. Y'all need to get Miles, you gotta make a t-shirt of that and like sell it. I bet you'd sell the shit out of them. When you're selling a player, like, here's the thing. He also has concentration drop issues, like, which isn't ideal when your guys are trying to sell a player as a pass game chess piece. The only reason why I would consider him, because this is the kind of pick that can change how offenses feel. Sadiq, I do feel like, is not just any other tight end. If he pans out the way that it seems like, right? Because he is a mismatch machine. Now, he's like if a receiver and a tight end got merged into a lab, then somebody accidentally clicked max athleticism before hitting save. Like, the question isn't whether he's talented. It's whether Carolina wants to get creative enough to maximize him. And if they do, he could become one of the more dangerous offensive weapons in this class, probably in the NFL, if we're being honest. If they don't, then he risks being a sport. Basically, if you don't maximize him or you don't use him in this offense, because we've been told that they want to use the tight ends more, but we've yet to see that, then you risk basically getting a sports car driven in a school zone traffic. Like, what's the point? You want to drive the shit out of that sports car, but yet you're just stuck driving in school zone traffic all the time. It's like having it's like that meme you see. It's like having a trailer, but you got a Bugatti in the driveway. Is Carolina real? Is Dave Canales, Brad Ezek, and these guys really going to use them? I mean, I'd rather have Stowers too. That's just me. Give me Eli Stowers all day, every day, twice on Sunday. I'm just saying. Let's get him out of here. See you later, Nicholas, you spamming fuck. See ya. All right, so let's move on. TikTok, come on over to the YouTube channel. Link is in the bio. Peace. Wow, I made 79 cents. I made 79 cents off of TikTok Live. Wow. Whoop-de freaking do. Whoop-de-doo, whoop-de-doo. All right, let's move on. Let's continue. I put Kenyon Sadiq in there for some of you Kenyon Sadiq lovers. But I did put him in there because he's a guy I can't ignore. All right, next up, Peter Woods. I know that my guy, Rock Jones, is going to love this one. Peter Woods is the let's ruin the pocket from the inside type of pick. Like, if you want to get nastier in the trenches, give me Peter Woods. He's the kind of prospect that makes a lot of sense. Why he stands out to me is that he's explosive, number one. He's strong, number two. He's disruptive, number three. He's got violent hands, number four. Quick first step. I mean, here's something from his pro day. Look at it. He's going through this, I mean, smoothly, in my opinion. All right, so what you just saw there, that is a 6'3", 310-pound man running like that. The ability to cave the interior from the pocket before a quarterback can finish lying to himself about having time is what Peter Woods would bring alongside Derek Brown. We've seen what Derek Brown can do from the inside. We're going to get to Caleb Banks, Billy. This is talking about drafting. This is my just top 10 guys. Vietnam. Shane, he's not fall, and that's the thing. A lot of people want Sadiq, but he's not even going to fall to 19. I would, and if he does fall out of the top 15, you need to be questioning why he did. That's another thing. I'm going to keep telling people that. He's not better than Bowers or Tyler Warren. No, he's not. He's not better than Colston Loveland, in my opinion. Either. Coming out of college. So, Vietnam, it's the truth, but it's also my top 10 guys for pick 19. And I'm trying to give y'all guys some film, so bear with me, okay? Because I can't use the film that I got because I'll get taken down. But he's got violent hands, quick first step, the ability to cave in that interior pocket. But like I said, before a quarterback can finish lying to himself about having time. That is valuable. The interior disruption screws up everything. It wrecks timing and messes with the launch points and makes life easier for the rest of the front. Could you imagine Peter Woods? Because Peter Woods is also very versatile. He can play from the 0 to the 5, tech, all that. Could you imagine having Peter Woods, Derek Brown, Bobby Brown III, Tershawn Wharton? Then you also got Jalen Phillips, Pat Jones, Nick Scorton, Prince Emmanuel on that defensive front. Like, that's what I'm trying to get to people's heads here with the defensive tackle thing. That's where I'm trying to get at. Trizzy, I don't know much about the locker room situation, but again, Clemson was in such turmoil this season. Trizzy, I'm not even surprised by those reports. I've been saying it for the longest time. I think Dabo is the problem there at Clemson. I don't think Clemson will get better until he starts hitting the NIL and the transfer portal, which he's finally doing this year, which probably after the whole Ole Miss debacle there, probably turned Dabo away. But again, Dabo is going to have to get with the times if he wants to, keep Clemson as one of the premier places to be. But I think it's a whole. I think it I think it was a whole ordeal, and it started with Dabo. So people can say what they want about guys in the locker room. I think we got to bring some context to that. You know what I mean? Now, I will say this: the concerns, there are still concerns. He's not a fully polished product like every snap monster yet. There are stretches where he flashes like a first-round wrecking ball. Then there are stretches where he fades. Shorter arms can also create matchup limitations against certain longer interior linemen. So, yes, there is some projection involved, I think, with Peter Woods. But again, I just think the fit is appealing because you pair him with Derek Brown. It would be a problem for offenses in a hurry, right? Not a finesse problem, and it wouldn't be like not a wow, nice technique problem, more like a dumpster rolling downhill towards your quarterback type of problem. Okay. We could use more disruptive violence on the inside. And that's why I think Peter Woods would be perfect for that. Let's get up to my next guy. Kayden McDonald at Ohio State. This is the close middle, lock the door, throw away the key type of pick right here. If Woods is about chaos, Kayden McDonald to me is more about control. He's a very different interior prospect in my eyes from watching tape. Depending on what Carolina wants, again, he might be one of the more interesting names on the whole board because, McDonald is one of the premier run defenders in this class. All right. He is. Like, you look at the grade. It's a 91.2 PFF grade, which he led in the nation. So that's not just a little cute little stat, okay? Watch this right here. It's not a cute little stat that I just showed you. This isn't man is a problem territory. Now we're talking about a guy who is 6'3", 326 pounds. He's built like a damn retaining wall. He anchors against double teams. He clogs interior lanes. He turns into run concepts, into traffic jams. He got the low center of gravity, the natural power to hold his ground like someone poured concrete into his cleats. Okay. So despite the size, he's not a total statue. As you could see, there's a quick first step there. There's some bowling ball explosiveness. He can penetrate just enough to reset the line and make life miserable for interior blockers. Capiche? Capiche? Sir Purr remembers. I'll believe it when I see it. Draft a Clemson player first before I start buying into us even drafting one. Fair enough. Fair enough. You're probably right. It might just be the culture fit. Definitely. Question: who's the best A'Shawn Robinson replacement for what A'Shawn was believed to bring? Probably Kayden McDonald, to be honest with you. Kayden would be like this guy. Like, you could make the case that Kayden McDonald or Peter Woods, but both of them are going to be better than A'Shawn Robinson ever was, in my opinion. In my opinion. Everybody continues to say we have Cam Jackson. Cam Jackson was a 6th round pick. Am I not correct? Was he not a 6th round pick? They're not gonna give him a shot, though. If they were going to give him a shot and they thought he was going to be good enough, they wouldn't have signed Bobby Brown III and Turk Wharton. And they wouldn't have kept A'Shawn Robinson. If they thought he was worth it, do you think they would have signed all those guys? Probably not. Probably not. Let's move on. Oh, wait. I wasn't done with Kayden McDonald, though. There is one thing that I do have to say about Kayden. All right. What does hold Kayden back is that he's not a finished pass rusher. Okay. He can collapse the pocket some, but the actual pass rush toolbox, the counters, the hand uses, the sequencing, I still think needs some work. There are also some concerns about shorter arms as well. It's like everybody's got shorter arms in this draft class, though. I mean, is everybody going to – because everybody I've heard with Kayden McDonald, these edge rushers, a lot of these defensive tackles, they're like, oh, they got shorter arms than the offensive linemen. Well, when do we stop looking at this shorter arm bullshit and just be like, what does the film show? What does the production on the field show? You know, I'm tired of hearing this shorter arm bullshit. But that's what people's concerns are about. The concerns are shorter arms. That I can't stand that as being a concern. A concern is for Kayden McDonald, for me, is his inconsistent pad level, which matters more when you're trying to transition from a run stuffing wall type of guy to a full 3 down difference maker. That's why, because he's usually viewed as a late first to early second round player than rather some slam dunk top 10 stud. See, that's the thing. We're at pick 19. You're not getting some top 10 stud. That's what a lot of you Panthers fans, I think, just don't realize, because we've been so used to picking in the top 10. We ain't getting a top 10 stud. So you're going to take what you get and you're going to like it. That's what you're going to get. You're going to get the best player available. That's why I have a top 10. And they've been in no particular order tonight. Trust Dan Morgan, trust the process. I'm just here to give you some content and give you what I think. Whether you like it, me, or you like it or not, that's up to you to decide. But why you should keep Kayden McDonald on your radar is because I'm sick of teams running inside and treating the middle of our defense like an all-you-can-eat buffet. McDonald's the answer. Oh, McDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-E-I-O. I'm going to fuck your shit up. That is what Kayden McDonald is. He's old school in the best way. He's big, powerful, nasty, hard as hell to move. The comparison to Casey Hampton makes sense because some kind of good luck getting through This brick shithouse energy is what he brings. He's not the flashiest pick, but he is the you are not running here anymore type of pick. You shall not pass. If any Lord of the Rings fans in here, that is what Kayden McDonald is. And there's something deeply satisfying about his tape. I know. Just so go get Calais Campbell, veteran presence would be good. He's just old. Don't trust Dan's draft outside of non-brain decisions. I don't trust Dan's drafting outside of non-brain decisions. Interesting, Billy Boy. AJ Brooks says he's also going in the second to third round. T. Thompson. I think Kayden McDonald will go second round. He probably won't go first. It just depends what team, right? Like what team really needs a defensive tackle. T. Cole, what's up? Demo favorite player. Who? Demo. Rolly, who are you talking about? All right, let's go to Caleb Banks. I like Caleb Banks as well. Caleb Banks is, I hate to say it like this, but like Caleb Banks is like, you better be right type of pick. Like Banks is that kind of prospect that like gets your front office in trouble because the tools are so damn tempting. That's what Caleb Banks is. Like, I hate to say that because I like his tape, because when you see him on one-on-ones, he wins. When you see him on one-on-ones, he wins. Like, just like that. Like, just like, watch this. Boom. Inside, boom. He just gets inside. He's got a nice swim move. Like how the hands get violent there, how he's able to push off, keeps his feet driving. That's what I like about him. All right. That's what I like about him. He looks the part. Like he's got the elite physical tools. He's got the size. He's got the versatility. And he flashes what make that, you know, the flashes that you make sit up straight, right? Like when you watch his tape and you see those flashes, you're like, shit. Like there are reps where you see dominant interior disruption. Like, and when you look at him, you're kind of like convincing yourself, like, damn, I found a monster. Like, that's what gets the people going. All right. The only thing is with Caleb Banks is this. It's a dangerous pick because, number one, he's coming off that foot injury or the ankle injury or whatever it is, right? Is it an ankle or a foot? I think it's foot, right? I always forget because it came out of the blue. But the flashes don't always become full games. Like the effort can vary. I think the technique can wander. The injury concerns definitely add a layer of, oh boy, to the whole package. So while the upside is real, so is the risk. It's a high risk. It's a low risk. I wouldn't say it's a low risk, but the upside is there. All right. But so is the risk. But why I'm still talking about him is because Banks hits. You know, you've got a dangerous chess piece on that defensive front. You look like a genius if he hits. Because if he doesn't, then congratulations, you've drafted another but the traits type of guy. Like I drafted him because of the traits, but the traits showed this, right? But the traits showed really a project hidden underneath those traits. Now you get to defend. Now you get to defend it online for 3 straight years while everyone posts clips of somebody else succeeding. Like this is like me telling you, because I say we should take Caleb Banks at pick 19, but then Kenyon Sadiq goes somewhere and kills it. But then I was telling you to go, we should get Caleb Banks, right? So this is not the safe pick. This is the casino pick. Some casinos are fun if you've ever been to a casino. There's also full of people making bad decisions with confident faces in those casinos as well, if you know what I'm talking about. So, just saying. I move on to probably one of my favorite picks, and I think he's also very underrated as well. Avieon Terrell. This is the irritating little bastard you love on your team pick. Every defense needs at least one player who feels like he was engineered specifically to annoy the shit out of opposing offenses. That's Avieon Terrell. All right, he's a physical press corner. In my opinion, I think he's got a great football IQ, very high, twitchy movement, real playmaker. Obviously, with his speed, he could lock down the slot position. In my opinion, he could be a good nickel corner to lock it down. But he's also a guy who can play the outside, which is fine. He doesn't just cover though; he attacks. Like he forces fumbles, he makes tackles. Flashy. He's got these nice flashy blitz value that he brings. Generally plays like a guy who believes the ball belongs to him. That's a certain swagger to his game I like, right? And could absolutely use more. We could absolutely use more of that alongside JC Horn and Mike Jack, right? Again, of course, there are some drawbacks. Like he's not the biggest corner because he plays aggressively. There are moments where he can go a little overboard. The edge is the part of what makes him effective. It also means he can get himself in trouble if the timing or discipline slips. Now, why I'm still looking at him is because you can never have too many corners because playmaking in the secondary matters. Terrell is that kind of defender who punches the hell out of the ball out. Who pops up talking trash, acts like he saw the whole thing coming from the moment he got off the bus. That kind of edge can be contagious. He's not just covering receivers. He's starting arguments. That adds value. I love it. He's a dog. He's a dog. And he also got 3 touchdowns. So that tells you a lot there. I mean, I wouldn't mind. If somehow, though, I will say this. If somehow this guy falls, I'm just going to say this. If somehow Mincer Delane falls out of the top 10, which I don't think he will, I would love to get him. He's one of my favorite prospects in this draft. That's all I'm going to say. All I'm going to say is this, and I'm going to say this is like, let's stop pretending that this needs to be more complicated than it is. Okay. Like if we want the smart, winning, grown up choices, the best answers, in my opinion, are Kadyn Proctor Monroe Freeling. If you want that, if Dan Morgan wants that defensive identity pick, the most interesting names to me is Emmanuel McNeil-Warren and Kayden McDonald. Now, if Carolina wants that fun offensive toys that everybody loves to talk about, I'm not taking KC Concepcion at pick 19. I mean, even though he's been put to us, the only reason why I put him in there is because of Daniel Jeremiah. But really, Mekhi Lemon and Kenyon Sadiq. I'm not saying that we shouldn't pick him. If he's the best player available on the board, that's what you go with. Okay? I'm not an anti-Sadiq guy. I just don't think that he's going to, number one, I don't think he's going to make it out of the top 15. I think if he does make it out of the top 15, it does make me question him a little bit because there's a reason why he fell out of the top 15. Because I think the Ravens would be smart to take him because of Mark Andrews on that 3-year contract, and at his age, it makes a lot of sense for them to go ahead and get their tight end for the future because they let Likely go. Right. I think Kenyon Sadiq will be picked by the Ravens. I really do. If Carolina wants to roll the dice and pray the ceiling shows up, that would be Caleb Banks. If Carolina wants a pure dog mentality, a chaos maker, a pain in the ass defender, that's Avieon Terrell. If we want to bring more interior violence, more trench nastiest, a more nasty running mate for Derek Brown, Peter Woods belongs squarely in that conversation. So my honest answer to me is draft a tackle, whether it's defensive tackle or left tackle, right? I just feel like we got to stop flirting with chaos. Like, yes, the fun picks are tempting. I get it. Yes, the weapon picks would make for cool highlight edits on my channel. The defensive personalities are appealing. But if Bryce Young is taking hits, then you're going to come back to me and say, damn, Clay, you were right. And if Rasheed Walker walks, if Rasheed Walker walks then the next season and Ike Ekwonu doesn't look the same, you're also going to be telling me I was right. Because I'd rather go ahead and lock down that left tackle position once again, because again, I'm not willing to risk Ike Ekwonu coming back even 100% of that and being 100% of what he was. And then we're back to square one of trying to protect our quarterback. Number two, Rasheed Walker, again, is only a 1-year insurance policy at best. Okay. If Bryce Young keeps taking hits like he's starring in a crash test documentary, the rest of this shit is decoration. Because then he ain't going to get it to your Kenyon Sadiq that everybody seems to solely love. You don't build a team by hanging curtains before the walls are finished. You just don't. You fix the protection, you've stabilized the foundation, you stop your quarterback from getting folded like a cheap lawn chair. Then, and only then, do you start looking at the fun stuff. Because right now, this year 4 for Bryce Young, the way that this defense got upgraded and the weapons that are in this room, and if the offense is stabilized the way it's supposed to be, there's no excuses for Bryce Young. Then you got to, if Bryce doesn't pan out, you can't, that's why you can't go get a left tackle next year, because you're going to be looking for a quarterback in the next year's draft. Because there's no excuses for Bryce Young this year. So you need to go ahead and lock down that left tackle position, especially if Ike Ekwonu is not even going to be close to what he was. He's not going to come back the way he was after that injury. He's not going to be the same. There's already doctors out there saying that. There's been doctors all over X that have tweeted about it and said that he will not be the same player he once was. Because they've seen a lot of players have that injury, and it's that serious where you need to look at probably bringing somebody in for the future. And again, maybe Rasheed Walker is more than a 1 year. There's quite possibly that chance. But right now, he's an insurance policy. I don't know if I'm willing to risk that. That's the truth about pick 19. Like, you cannot screw around with this. You cannot get cute. You do not pretend. You cannot pretend you're the smartest guy in the room. I think you got to take a tackle and keep moving. If not, either give me Avieon Terrell or give me Peter Woods. That's just me. Malik Washington? You mean Mike? You meant Mike Washington. Let me see. Mike Washington. I've watched Mike Washington. You're talking about Mike Washington? Yeah, I've watched his film. I know all about Mike Washington. So that's just my opinion. That's my top 10. Guys, I hope y'all enjoyed tonight's show. We broke down a bunch of my top 10 players. Again, I'm not anti-Sadiq. I just think that there are other needs that need to be filled, other things that we need to be smart when picking. It's my opinion, man, at the end of the day. Whether you like it or not, that's for no Omar Cooper. Nope. No Omar Cooper. Not for pick 19. Not for pick 19. I'd rather get a KC Concepcion because of what he brings. Omar Cooper, it's just not me. I'm just not I'm not the biggest Omar Cooper guy. I'd take him in the second round. I'm not taking him in the first, though. That's just me. It is what it is. If we're going to draft its future tackle, then we might as well trade back so we can move up in the second for defense if someone calls, obviously. And I'm okay with that, AJ. I'm okay with that. I've thought about that as well. And I'm okay with that. But we'll see. We'll see if they go best player available. We shall see. Guys, I hope you enjoyed tonight's content. Again, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And make sure you click that post notifications bell so you don't miss any new content. And other than that, guys, I will see you tomorrow. We're going to do our mock draft 2.0 tomorrow night. All right, so make sure you guys tune into that. Around same time, same place. Y'all know where to be. I'll see you tomorrow. Y'all know what to do. Keep pounding. Peace.